Good morning, everyone. My name is Anjali Vishwakarma. I'm professor of CAC branch SIRT Bhopal. So, in my today's YouTube lecture, I am going to discuss about the programming languages, in which I will discuss what type of things that we use in our programmings. So, if I'm talking about the programming language, then it is a set of symbols, numbers, rules, grammars, where by using these all things we will create a program that will be helpful whenever we have any application or whenever we have any question. Then we can make a program, and after run that program we will get the answer, we will get the result. If there is some mistake in our program, then it will be generate a error message. So if I'm talking about the basic definition of programming language, then it is a sets of instructions or collections of instructions are called programming languages. So in which we are working on a computer or a system which non machine language, but we are humans, we know the human readable language. So for communication purpose, um, we use programming which provide a communication between system and user. So in programming languages we can classify the programming languages in two types, that is high level and low level. Firstly, low level languages are coming, then after high level languages are coming. So the low level programming languages are first generation and second generations. But if I'm talking about the high level languages, so the third generation, fourth generation, fifth generation are the high level languages. So if I'm talking about the low level languages, then we can classify this low level language in two categories, that is machine level language and assembly language. If I classify this high level language, then we can classify in four types, that is uh, procedure oriented programming language, object oriented programming language, natural language, and visual programming language. So these are the category of low level and high level language. So if I'm talking about the low level language, so there are two types of programming language, that is machine language and assembly language, and these are the first generation and second generation languages. So in machine languages, all the codes are written in the binary form. It means 0 and 1. That is very complicated to understand, and so we can say that in machine level language, we don't require any translator or compiler, or the one which can convert this code. So as we all know that system understand the machine language, and if we write a code in machine language, then there is no need to uh, requirement of compiler or interpreter. Now if I'm talking about the assembly language, then these are the codes which is written in the form of English level language, which can understand by human as well. But here we need a assembler which convert the assembly language in machine language. So this is what the low level language, as I discussed. Now if I'm talking about the high level language, then why it is called high level language? Because the language are written in the form of English language. We can say that all the English words or the English sentences or English alphabets we use in this high level language, which is understand by all the humans. So it is very easy to understand for the users, because it's just as we are using the English language, we all know about the English language. So in this English language we use what grammars, tokens, alphabets, expressions. So these are the things that we use in English. So if we use these type of sentences in our programming, then it will easy for user to understand. So the more high level language we will code in Visual Basic. Basic is an old language that has been updated over the years and adopted by Microsoft for use for writing Microsoft Windows and web applications. Now these are different types of high level languages. This is C hash, C++, Java. These are the example of high level language. And if I'm talking about the low level language, then Fortran, COBOL are the examples of low level language. So after generation we will get the language which is easy to understand, easy to manage. So this is what the POP languages, which is understood by humans very easily. In object oriented programming languages, we use objects, we use classes, we use different types of object oriented concepts like inheritance, polymorphism, virtual function, friend function, abstraction class. These are the concepts of OOPS, which provide many types of facilities. Like if we want to reuse our code, so by using object oriented concept, we can use the code again and again. If we want to provide a security, then we can use a polymorphism. And if we want to use the code again, then we can use inheritance. In the procedure oriented programming language, which is different from object oriented programming language, in procedure oriented there are some drawbacks related with procedure oriented programming language, like security is a issue. But to overcome this issue, C++ or object oriented programming is coming, which provide the security, reusability of the code. So there are different types of characteristics of programming language. Like programming language must be simple, easy to understand, and easy to learn. Abstractions must have characteristics for the programming language, in which the ability to define the complex structure and then its degree of usability. A portable programming language is also preferred. Basic terminology in programming algorithm. So the different types of terminology that we use in programming. If we write a algorithm, then it will easy for us to write a program by using algorithm. So if I'm talking about the algorithm, then it is a collection of steps. Variable are a name, storage, location, and memory that holds a value. Data types, we can classify the data according to our data. We will choose the data types. Like if we want a number, then we use integer. If we want a decimal numbers, then we can use float. If we want a characters, then we can use the character data types. Now, a function, a self-contained block of code that performs a specific task and can be called from other parts of program. So this is what the function. Now the control statement, in which if we want to use the same thing again, then if we want to perform a task again and again, then we can use a control structure or control flow. Now in the syntax, firstly we will write a code, so we will call it syntax. Then we can write a comment as well. We will provide a debugging, where which it will show the error message if the code is not correct. We can use the operators, we can use the statements. Now the advantages of programming language: increase productivity, portability, readability, and large community. So these are the advantages. In the increased productivity, programming languages provide a set of abstraction that allow developers to write code more quickly and efficiently. Portability, programs written in high level programming language can run on different operating system and platforms. Readability, well designed programming language can make code more readable and easier to understand for both the original author and for the developer. Large community, many programming languages have large community for the users and developers. Now the disadvantages, so the complexity, performance, limited functionality, and fragmentation are the disadvantages of programming language. Some programming language can be complex, performance can be slower, and it can provide a lower functionalities. So these are the disadvantages. Now if we want to learn a new programming language, so these are some of the tips that we can use to learn a programming. Like we can start from the fundamentals, and if we code daily or we learn daily, or we can, if we learn again and again, or if we know the updates, or if we give our time, then we can learn a programming language. Like if we can start from the fundamentals, like begin by learning the basics of language, such as syntax, data types, variable, and simple statement. This will give you a strong foundation to build upon. Code daily, like any skill, the only way to get good at programming is practicing regularly. If we can practice about the thing, then we will definitely get success in that particular things. But on projects, if we learn a programming language, and after that if we create any program, or if we can work on a project, or if we make some programs or projects, then it will be very beneficial for us if we create a project. So these are the tips. Read the documentation. If we read the documentation again and again, then we can get the information that we will can use. And we can join some online communities or online coaching classes where we can learn different types of things. We can use different platform to learn the different type of programming languages. We can do the practicing regularly, then we can be a good coder. Or we if we work on the project, then it will be very easy for us to understand. If we do the practicals, then it is very easy to understand. So this is what about the programming languages. So thank you so much.